let's dive in. Now, let's quickly just go over the feats, and do the scaling and, call it a day. The first thing here is that Mikaboshi, after giving part of his power to Ares' son, after manipulating him to go against his entire pantheon, made his son so powerful that he could literally nearly kill Zeus by one-shotting him. And despite Zeus' non-attempt of combat, this isn't necessary because the fact that Zeus was literally fully powered to his fullest, was still alive after the shock of such and could have attacked, but he was nearly overpowered, and actually he did attack with his full might, but still got one shot again, which he faded from existence. This dude literally got one shot 4 times or 5 in one comic. He basically went to the dream dimension, which is all encompassing of the nightmare realm, the mindscape, and the dream time. Now, these rooms operate on different levels of power and transcend each other. The nightmare realm is the least of these, but yet views that of the godly realms as a city and calls them pan-dimensional. Basically sees them as literally non-existing. These are high ultraversal beings on a baseline scale, and beings like Zeus, Odin, Hercules, Thor, Ares, and a few other gods like Athena are in baseline high ultraversal, but far stronger than that. Yet this Chaos King one-shot nightmare, who yet can interact with Hercules post-death after his fight with Hera, his stepmother, and was amped to the level higher than Nightmare, and Nightmare even recognizes this, and later you will see how powerful this amped Hercules is. Before we move further with feats of Mikaboshi, of course, we need to get feats of other characters to quantify further. We see that just by appearance of Hercules, Dr. Voodoo, the Sorcerer Supreme, Emma Frost, Marvel Boy, the Avengers, and Amadeus Cho could feel the power. Now, as for Tony, he must have felt the planet tremble, while the others felt the energy, and their energies are so immense themselves, especially Voodoo, but yet they couldn't concentrate, especially the great telepath, Emma Frost, and Amadeus, who himself amped Hercules, felt it across realities. Hercules even says that this is the greatest threat the multiverse has seen, at least since the 7th cosmos, which is false and true for the most part. And this civilian says we hear that every time Galactus shows up, which happens a lot and is an inconsistent statement, but Hercules says no, you do not understand, meaning that truly he is a threat the multiverse hadn't seen. And to be honest, he was. Amadeus Cho made the statement of this ancient artifact that made him so powerful he could traverse to Hera's dimension where Hera killed Hercules by bringing him back and channeling his power through Hercules. If you guys want to see a video on Amadeus Cho, then get this video to at least 200 likes and comment as much as possible. Also, talk to me in the comments. I will reply as much comments as possible, as long as it is this video related or relatively Marvel. I don't want to see no anime stuff in the comment section. You see the Sky Fathers, which are immensely powerful, and they aren't just mere Sky Fathers, but that of Earth, which is the most powerful planet and race, but yet not quite. We know gods exist from humans' collective unconscious, and these Sky Fathers are above mortal and gods. And this power Hercules holds is fucking with his mind, because it is power forbidden even for the might of divinity. Hercules basically used this power to violate these people, and they are relatively the same power range as Zeus and Odin. Hercules reached out to the minds of everyone, bringing them to a nexus point for the invasion as he tells them the minds of the Chaos King. He did mention one impressive feat, which is actually the death of the Skrull gods. For some reason, people don't know that the Skrulls are one of the most powerful races in the cosmos, which some of Earth's heroes are Skrulls, like Miss Marvel, but not the new weird elastic one, the one we see in this comic. He did mention something very true, as he says He did grow infinitely stronger, and yes, he did move from baseline high ultraversal tier to actually the tier above nightmare, which is inaccessible into high ultraversal, and that's the tier of Skyfathers, but still stronger because of addition of his might to that power he had, which, like I said before, he was stronger than Nightmare, which we will get to soon. He amps heroes with a fraction of his power. These people are incredibly powerful already, like Reed Richards or the Fantastic Four as a whole. As they enter the Nightmare realm, imagine amping a shit ton of people to Nightmare tier, which is infinitely into high ultraversal. But Nightmare was still more powerful as the human minds fell because Nightmare wasn't alive. And the best explanation for this is due to the collective unconscious. And when there's no nightmare or dreams, then there won't be a mind. And this occurs via the collective unconscious of the consciousness. And this will be dived in a lot in my Nightmare video, which will come up in like a month from now. Even Hercules' wife, who is a god, can't even get near him because of his current power. She couldn't touch him. He was a Skyfather tier, even above that of Odin and Zeus. Probably not Odin, but Zeus. And we see that he says that the universe of Hera is an inaccessible universe at the edge of creation, literally, of that tier. He grew infinitely stronger, inaccessible cardinals in power, and he can't still fully fathom it. Hera's universe is an inaccessible transcendence for gods. Only gods without mortal minds could survive such downfall, to show that even heroes that are high ultraversal can't outrun some things. Except, of course, people like Sentry, Monica Rambeau, and possibly Blue Marvel. Of course, Blue Marvel, son, he exists. He's literally a walking neutral zone. And as time passes, though, note that the neutral zone is above Hera's dimension. Note that it's classified as the outside of that tier. Basically, an outside of that tier, which an outside is just classified the edge of creation in Marvel for each tiers. And as time passes, Hercules remembers he has the power of his grandfather, named Kronos, who predates time beyond time. Hercules stops all of time to create as much as he needs. Even Hades, who transcends such concepts and his divinity to bring mortal souls beyond physicality, was halted in time. And Pluto or Hades frees everyone to fight. Zeus makes his return from the afterlife alongside Ares, but Mikaboshi one-shots him for the second time, plus that of his son, making it 3 times. And as things got too unbearable, they summoned no other than the multiverse itself, who sent an avatar to converse with them. Now, this statement being made by eternity is bigger than than almost anyone knows. Eternity says that Thanos wanted to kill everything, which is true, but he says that Chaos King is the darkness and chaos that existed before existence itself. Now, Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet, or Heart of the Universe, is just too strong that even people like the Beyonder are like nothing, but yet he still was below Oblivion, which is still impressive because the people below Oblivion are just wonderful. Thanos killed Gaia and killed literally everything, if I remember clearly. Now the thing is that now this statement can be taken either ways because of the elder god's part. Gaia is above eternity by quite a long shot, but yet Thanos killed her in this process. Not even during Secret Wars or many high ultraversal threats could deal with Gaia. You could say Gaia left Earth with her power, but how consistent or valid would that be? And the reason why people actually do, Thanos is literally one of the most powerful people in Marvel. I see people compare doing versus matchups, Thanos versus Darkseid. What sort of insults? When I do my Sleepwalker video, you guys need to watch it because you will know what actually the Infinity Gauntlets are. Mikaboshi is either below the Gauntlet and hold to Thanos or above, but that would be for the end of this game. In fact, no, he is not, because the gauntlets are just too powerful. The heart of the universe is literally the heart of the universe itself. And when you say the Marvel universe, at some point you're talking beyond even the likes of eternity. You're talking beyond the likes of the Far Shore. Tune in for my Thanos video like 3 or 4 weeks from now. You will see. And then he summons Cersei, who is abnormally powerful. If we can get this video to about 200 likes and as much comment, then I will scale Amadeus Cho and Cersei, but I will eventually, even though you guys don't do that. And they bring Galactus of all people. Now, Galactus scaling is very inconsistent. Not really, but it's kind of inconsistent. And I have to say, he's like Superman that has too much. No, not too much. What am I saying? Superman has too much plot-induced stupidity. Galactus does have a fair share, but not too much. Just like every time he's meant to destroy Earth, but we know Earth is too powerful for such. But at the same time, Silver Surfer had a shit ton of wonderful feats that if you scale Galactus off of that, then it will be consistent. But I think I gotta do a Galactus scaling video, which would include a remake for the Livebringer video, which had quite a lot of errors and truths in it. Thor is consistently relative, if not above Odin, but Surfer rivals him a lot. Now, Galactus is definitely a top dog in Marvel, which he did survive the destruction of the sixth iteration, which he is the remainder, and Surfer tells that there's no greater threat than him. The thing with scaling Galactus is knowing the context of the narrative. It's understanding the context of the narrative to grasp his might. Now, to be honest, Galactus shouldn't scale to the Elder Gods, but know that when Galactus is fully fed, there is no iteration and possibly Elder God that might take on him. While fully fed, he takes on Celestials while they are nerfed. Even they have, in fact, if you check my Franklin Richards video, Celestials while nerfed and are still crazy powerful and are far above gods have to fuse to be on the same level as Galactus. That is just abnormal. But while Galactus is hungry, his power varies like crazy on the high alto spectrum. And here, Galactus was hungry, which he definitely should be able to kill Earth because Gaia was basically dying. She was nearly dead and her energy wasn't really helping the Earth much as she sustained the rest, but we will get to that shortly. And we have Demon Hellstorm, who should also scale, which I should also scale later as well. But just know he is so powerful that even the gods of death are nothing to him, and he sits above all 7,000, possibly 900, and the extra 99 layers of hell in Marvel, only below that of the one below all, if I remember clearly. He is the son of an elder god, and there are 8,000 layers of hell in Marvel, each infinitely transcending each other. He comes with the information that Mikaboshi has taken over the layers of hell and literally made death run for life. She's not logically meant to have, though she does have a life, but she's not meant to because she's not. There's the death of death. There's true death, because if I remember clearly, true death is the Black Winter. Yeah, whatever. But we see that Galactus blasts a revived Prime Zeus, but yeah, didn't even kill him. And he just takes Galactus' power with no effort. But yeah, but Hercules one-shots the same Zeus. After Zeus gets one-shot, now there's the fourth time, Zeus tells Hercules he cannot triumph alone. And his God Squad isn't enough. Only him could take them out, except, of course, Thor. And Zeus tells him to gather the same All-Fathers of Earth, which he violated alone. These same people were stealing off their pantheons from Mikaboshi with all the powers they had. And with a glance, his all-seeing eyes, his omniscient eyes, which he did use to transverse infinite hierarchies to their plane before, he did it again, literally exposing them. And it is so funny how they all call him a fool, including dying Zeus, who just sort of praised him at that point. He literally crosses such hierarchies. Let me just say this, not even Galactus at that point will enter that place as of then. This dude enters and starts violating the gods and their pantheons. Even the gods of Maya, this might not be the same Maya, please don't take this as valid, what I'm about to say now. And if I'm correct, this is the same matter above, the same Maya above classic Doctor Strange, but below Lords of Shambhala from the Indian mythology, if I remember clearly, but this might be a very different Maya. And as everything he destroys becomes a part of him, he tears down divinity faster than what Cersei can even create. We see that Mikaboshi had taken out 98% of the multiverse. And even Gaia, who birthed every god in the sense that she's the mother she's a mother elder goddess which others birth from, but only Thor actually came through delivery process as her true child, if you grasp. Even Galactus calls the gap an infinite gulf, meaning it is too far to cover. And that's for Hera's dimension. Now, I'll add a brief scaling further for Gaia here, which she tells him that he is supposed to wield the power of creation itself, which she refers to her power. And then she makes other very important statements, which I would dig everything well in my video for the other gods scaling, which isn't really far to be honest. She then takes him through a rebirth and burns him with the fire of creation, making him anew. And as they battle, they send him to the void of Hera, where he can stay alone, and that's Mikaboshi. With all being said, the Chaos King is immeasurable into multiversal at very least, and he is around the level of a dying Gaia. No, what am I saying? He was the one killing Gaia, so he is possibly above Gaia or the same tier, which is the peak of immeasurably into multiversal or baseline boundless, or even possibly higher than baseline boundless, getting from the math thing, but that will be covered up in my, you know, Elder Gods video. You can check my math in video, which dropped not long ago. Now we have spent a lot of time on Mikaboshi, which was needed to be done. To be honest, go check my Upside Down Man video, which you would enjoy. My Hecate video, my Witch Mark Wonder Woman. But even this scaling I'm about to do for Upside Down Man is very important. But let's brief him up. Now, we do know that Upside Down Man is the opposite of to Hecate, and Hecate is the collective unconscious. Now, the collective unconscious in DC has a lot of parts it plays, and it splits into several aspects, which all falls to Hecate as a totality. We have seen that God's birth from the collective unconscious. Incredible telepaths have made use of an aspect of it which extends to the tier of the source, like every other forces of the multiverse to shape creation by Perpetua. This same energy was used at full length by Martian Manhunter on two occasions. One, to reshape an amped Perpetua in comparison to her debut. He negated her power of the totality thoroughly, which isn't even her power itself, but a borrowed power she used and not her strength itself, which is consistent for reasons I will make mention in my Perpetua versus Nyx video coming soon. 2. He used it to support the Speed Force against the Steel Force, Ultraviolet Spectrum, and the Totality. Steel which Luthor held, but not a full-powered one. This Speed Force is the reason for the infinite expansion of the multiverse. The multiverse had grown stronger, stated by the Forgers, since the Crisis event. The collective unconscious has also been made use of by Wonder Woman just by having the seal, which is part of Hercules' power. But even having almost the full thing like Circe doesn't mean you are the collective unconscious, as shown with the other victims of Hecate's power, were still all fodder as their bodies were just used like puppets. The collective unconscious is all unconscious thoughts, which has shown varying degrees which dwarfs Martian Manhunters, but I will save that for several videos intentionally. Then I will bring everything up in my final Discus Magic videos. This is consistent also that Hecate's might is just too great, as people like Zatanna and Constantine have seen the might of heaven, hell, the voice of God, Spectre, the Spectre, the Phantom Stranger, and many more, but yet calls 1/5 the power of Hecate the greatest to walk the earth, which is true for the most part. Via their beliefs and conscious thoughts, Diana was able to break out of Hecate's control. Even the magic module uses at least New Earth or New 52 module. His might is beyond that of Etrigan, Trigon, and many more who don't even fear God. In fact, they laugh in the face of the presence, and the presence plans on teaming up with hell to fight the great darkness, which exists a sphere above the dark multiverse. Also, the fact that the upside down man also says that he will open his eyes and then absorb every last bit of Hecate's benevolent magic that exists throughout Earth, which is the same magic humanity and gods make use of. Even the new gods are still part of the collective unconscious because Upside Down Man is an archetypal being above even the godly realms, which are Platonic archetypes. Basically, the other kind and Hecate are archetypes of archetypes beyond autoversal hierarchies, including many baseline high autoversal transcendences like the green, which can even manifest itself on the tier of the other kind within the other place. The statement of Constantine is further backed up by the fact that the Justice League Dark have fully comprehended the might of the full green and many more. Even the Sea of Brahma alone scales above a shit ton of people. Talk less of even Hecate and even Baralaya says that calling her goddess is an insult, and the goddess of this is basically Hecate. Now we see that Constantine makes mention of the fundamental truth about magic, which belongs to the other kind, and mostly Hecate. He gives reason for Zataros still being able to exist through his torture and torment. The reason why magic is stronger backwards when stated backwards in this realm, the reason the green could pass through to here, the parliament of life, Wonder Woman's faith, and the sword, it is all because of belief. Upside Down Man believes that his magic is absolute and boundless to everything below, which is in boundless steering wise, and he doesn't even have Hecate to tether for balance as he absorbed Hecate, but a literal weakened version. I doubt Hecate had any powers except the 1/5 she took back from Diana. And because of their belief of their magic grew so powerful enough to transcend to that realm of the other kind. And Hecate's belief created Upside Down Man because she was scared of darkness, meaning her belief created the other kind and the other place. And now this is where things get real. I won't go too deep here, but I would in my presence video because people are so dense that they do everything to downplay Hecate. The dreaming and humanity's collective unconscious is all about beliefs. Humanity's beliefs created the gods via the collective unconscious. These gods have their beliefs of higher divinity and decreate whatever they needed to via their mind. Hecate created her opposite and created a sphere beyond the dark multiverse, which is far larger than the light multiverse, and that includes the source. Hecate is the concept of belief herself, which was proven above, and the dreaming helps with these unconscious thoughts. Hecate may just even be the true concept of dreams in DC, or she uses the dreaming to force creation from its unconscious mind. And people tell me that the presence and perpetual transcend her when you aren't crazy. But I will dive in on why perpetual and presence are inevitably below the might of the other kind, talk less of Hecate. And yet, Upside Down Man, being her opposite, is still above her because he ate her power and then he grew a lot more powerful by taking her magic. Personally, I am still battling between the Dark Multiverse and the Overvoid, if they are equals at all. But even if the Overvoid supersedes the Dark Multiverse, the other kind will scale to peak baseline high autoversal, only yet weaker than the might of Brahma Pralaya, who you should still stick around from which you should stick around for my Pralaya versus Noah video to get her scaling. This matchup goes to that of the Chaos King, who is so powerful that even if you wank Upside Down Man or use a high-end scaling, he would scale max to the level of the Empty Hand, which is false, as the Empty Hand is beyond the Overvoid. So check my Empty Hand video, and if you like this video, if you found this video informative,